to World Now at 4 on Hills TV. I am Peace Ogenegbawe. First, let's talk the headlines. On the headlines, President Muhammadu Buhari signs mental health bill into law. Senegal blocks opposition demo over missing COVID funds. And from Ukraine, Kyiv rejects Putin's Russian Orthodox Christmas truce. And on sport news, Chelsea signs Monaco's Badelshile for £34 million. Now the news in details. Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has signed the Harmonized Mental Health Bill into law. The bill, which was harmonized by the Senate and the House of Representatives in 2021, will replace the Lunacy Act 1958. The president of the Association of Psychiatrists of Nigeria, that is APN, Taiwo Obindo, who confirmed the signing, described it as a great relief to the mental health care and practice in the country. Obindo was quoted by newsmen as saying a final culmination to over 2 decades of several efforts by the Association of Psychiatrists of Nigeria now has an act or law on mental health governance, and we are now part of the global space with best global practice. A former president of the APN, Taiwo Sheikh, thanked key players, saying, and I quote, "We finally reached the milestone." With the new law, the Lunacy Act of 1958, which practitioners condemned as outdated and inhumane, will cease to be effective. The Chief of Defense Staff, General Lucky Irabor, says 613 rehabilitated low-risk repentant terrorists will be transferred to their state governments for reintegration into society. Irabor made the disclosure during the 5th stakeholders meeting of Operation Safe Corridor on Thursday in Abuja. Represented by the Chief of Defense Training and Operation, Major General Adeyemi Yekini, the CDS said the 613 clients are currently undergoing de-radicalization and rehabilitation handled by the OPSC. It said that the meeting would exhaustively discuss de-radicalization, rehabilitation, and reintegration program ahead of the transfer of the rehabilitated clients to their state governors. Irabor said the OPSC was established by Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari in September 2015 as a window for willing and repentant terrorists to lay down their arms and undergo a structured DRR program, urging the receiving state government to provide necessary support to enable the ex-combatants wade through the transitional and most challenging phase of their lives. We now move to Ogun State, where 3 persons were confirmed dead while 8 others are injured in an accident involving a privately owned saloon car and a public taxi at the Ishekpanu, Ewekoro local government area of Ogun State. The spokesman for the Ogun Traffic Compliance and Enforcement Corps, Babatunde Akimbi, confirmed the incident to news agents in Abeokuta, on Friday, saying that the accident occurred at about 6:30 a.m. today due to excessive speed and loss of control on the part of the driver of the saloon car. He added that the driver of the saloon car marked LND 618FQ lost control and rammed into the taxi with registration number AKM 590YQ. Akimbi explained that 11 people were involved in the accident, comprising 4 males and 7 females, adding that 8 people were injured while 3 died. He commiserated with the family of the dead, urging motorists to avoid speeding, especially now that visibility was very poor. May their soul rest in peace. This is World Now at 4 on Hills TV. When the news returns, news from other parts of Africa. To stay with us. Welcome back. An official source has said that the Senegalese authorities on Thursday banned a demonstration planned for Friday, which is today, in Dakar, by the opposition to denounce irregularities in the management of an anti-COVID fund identified in a report by the court. A decree by the prefect of the Dakar states that the place chosen for the demonstration is the subject of major works linked to a project for buses running on exclusive lanes and preparation of the Independence Day scheduled for April 4. The text said the Place de la Nation, the place planned for the demonstration, is marked by a continuous presence of machinery and workers, which now makes it impossible to hold gatherings due to the risk of accidents and delays in the work. The prefect therefore said he was unable to give a favorable response to the opposition's request. The Place de la Nation near downtown Dakar usually hosts demonstrations such as the one on December 30, called by civil society organizations against irregularities in the management of anti-COVID fund. The main opposition coalition, Yewwi Askan Wi, which is known as Yo Lebrons le Peuple in Wolof, had called for a demonstration on Friday to contest the way this government is managing our public funds and against the democratic backsliding and impunity of the men in power. Still on news from Africa, former president of Botswana, Ian Khan, says the reported warrant of arrest issued by magistrate court in that country against him and other people who are close to him is a confirmation of harassment by the Botswana government after falling out with his successor, President Mokgweetsi Masisi. Khama has since filed an application at the High Court in the country's capital, Gaborone, asking it to set aside an arrest warrant issued by the magistrate court last week. He is facing 14 charges, including allegation of money laundering and handling stolen property, but the arrest warrant issued is related to a charge of possession of 5 illegal firearms. Khama left Botswana last year and has since resided in neighboring South Africa. Welcome back. And now to news from other parts of the world. The United States President Joe Biden on Thursday in his first major speech on border security said the United States will use Trump-era restrictions to rapidly expel Cuban, Nicaraguan and Haitian migrants caught illegally crossing the U.S.-Mexico border.
Do not just show up at the border. Stay where you are and apply legally from there. Starting today, if you don't apply through the legal process, you will not be eligible for this new parole program. This new process is orderly, it's safe, and it's humane, and it works.
A senior official said under the plan announced on Thursday that Mexico will accept up to 30,000 expelled migrants per month from Cuba, Nicaragua, Haiti, and Venezuela. The two prolonged approach is designed to blunt criticism from Republicans who have attacked Biden as record numbers of migrants cross the U.S.-Mexico border, and Democrats and immigration advocates who says Title 42 restrictions adopted under former President Donald Trump block migrants from exercising their rights to apply for asylum and expose them to danger. According to the United States government data, in November, the U.S. border officials encountered 82,000 migrants from those countries who were attempting to enter without permission at the border with Mexico. Republicans have rejected Biden's proposal for immigration reforms or new funding in Congress. The Democratic president will visit El Paso, Texas on Sunday on his first trip to the border with Mexico since taking office. And I'll bring you as response to a hit by the Russian Orthodox Church. Russian President Vladimir Putin, which is meant to hold from 12 hours Moscow time, which is 10 hours GMT +1, coincides with Russian Orthodox Christmas. Putin also asked Ukraine to reciprocate, but Kyiv quickly rejected the request. According to Ukraine's President Volodymyr Zelensky, he said the truce was an attempt to stop his country's military advances in the east of the country. The Kremlin statement appeared to stress that President Putin ordered his troops to stop fighting, not because he was de-escalating, but because he had listened to an appeal from the head of the Russian Orthodox Church, Patriarch Kirill. Let's take you now to business news after this timeout. To stay with us. Israel's year signed to 11.58 billion US dollars in the first to 54.21 billion US dollars in 2022 from 47.46 billion US dollars in the corresponding period of 2021. According to CBN, imports increased by 34.9% to 4.64 billion US dollars, driven by the rise in the import of petroleum products to 1.24 billion US dollars from 120 million US dollars in September. However, the data indicated impressive developments in crude oil trade, as the decision by the oil producing and exporting countries, that is OPEC Plus, to cut global production by 2 million barrels per day from November 2022 stoked higher crude oil prices at the international market, thereby resulting in the improved crude oil export earnings. Away from that story, reports have also shown that oil prices rebalanced on Friday in the United States after an early $1 rally on a stronger dollar and weaker economic outlook weighed, while hopes of a Chinese demand boost limited losses. Brent crude futures fell 24 cents or 0.3% to 78.45 US dollars a barrel by 12:31 hours GMT. US West Texas intermediate crude futures were down 24 cents or 0.33% at 73.43 US dollars. Both contracts rose by more than $1 US earlier on Friday's session, but fell as the dollar rose to one-month high. The rally came after U.S. economic data highlighted a still tight labor market that could prompt the U.S. Federal Reserve to keep raising interest rates aggressively. Markets now turn their attention to the closely watched U.S. payrolls report due later today, which is Friday. Let's now move to sports news as we join Aynan Lubem to stay with us.
Good evening and welcome to Sports News on World Now at 4. I am Aynan Lubem. Now to sports news. President of the Nigeria Football Federation, that's the NFF, Ibrahim Musa Gusau, has announced that match commissioners and referees who do not meet the required standards will be ejected and sanctioned appropriately. The 8-year-old made the announcement at the inauguration of the Referees and Match Commissioners Committee in Abuja on Thursday as the league kicks off this weekend. Gusau stated that the NFF will be keenly monitoring the performances of those appointed to the committees and will dispassionate in the assessment. The chairman of the Match Commissioners Committee, Babagana Kali, pledged that the committee will focus on transparency and integrity in its work while also scrutinizing its appointees. South African world champion and captain Siya Kolisi has signed a racing contract in France. However, the third row will only join the Parisian club after the 2023 Rugby World Cup, which takes place in France between September and October. According to the Parisian club, the signing is part of a broader agreement of a long-term collaboration between the clubs of Racing 92 and the Sharks, where each of the parties has made financial efforts. Before joining France, the first black captain of South Africa will focus on winning a second consecutive world title, the fourth in the history of the country, also crowned in 1995 and 2007. This season, Kolisi, who also played for the Cape Town Stormers, played 5 games for the Sharks, including 4 as a starter. He also played 4 matches with the Springboks in November, including 30-26 loss to Les Bleus. And now to Chelsea, where Chelsea has confirmed the signing of Monaco defender Benoit Badiashile for a reported £34 million fee. Badiashile, the January transfer window, with Porter adding extra quality to his defensive ranks amid his side poor run of form. The 21-year-old France international has signed a long-term contract at Stamford Bridge after spending the first 4 years of his career at Monaco, where he made 106 League One appearances. Badiashile expressed his delight after sealing the switch, telling Chelsea official website of his excitement to start playing in the best league in the world. Blues chairman Todd Boehly and co-controlling owner Begdad Egbahali said Benoit is an excellent young player who has quickly established a strong reputation for himself and has a huge amount of experience for his young age. And that's sports news on World Now at 4. Back to Peace for the rest of the news.
Welcome back. Mexican security forces on Thursday captured a son of jailed drug kingpin Joaquin El Capo Guzman, scoring a high-profile win in the fight against powerful cartels days before U.S. President Joe Biden visits. Ovidio Guzman, nicknamed El Raton, that is the mouse, was caught in the northwestern city of Culiacan and flown to Mexico City on a military plane. Defense Minister Luis Crescencio Sandoval told reporters. He said the arrest was the result of 6-month 2-year-old who was allegedly helped to run his father's operations since El Chapo was extradited to the United States in 2017. The United States had offered a reward of up to $5 million for information leading to Ovidio Guzman's capture, accusing him of being a key player in the infamous Sinaloa cartel. And that's World Now at 4, but before we go, here are the headlines again. We told you that Nigeria's President Muhammadu Buhari has signed mental health bill into law. We also brought to you that Senegal has blocked opposition demonstration over missing COVID funds. From Ukraine, Kyiv has rejected Putin's Russian Orthodox Christmas truce. And on sport, Chelsea is to sign Monaco's Chile for £34 million. Remember to visit us on Facebook at Hills TV Abuja, Instagram at Hills TV, and our YouTube channel is at Hills TV. I am Peace Ogenegbawe. Thank you for watching.